On this, we're going to talk about the impact that that this point nine ruling is going to have on states and maybe some of the future technologies that we wanted to do. In Utah, we have uh, almost the whole state licensed, and we have is, are the pictures showing up on yours when I say show my screen on the side, or is it blocking any of this presentation?
Not at all. No, it looks
Okay,
great.
perfect.
Yep,
All right, good.
perfect.
We have 19 licenses that range between the county, cities, and state agencies that are currently using 4.9. We are mobile and fixed use permission on all licenses. We have statewide licenses out of our Department of Transportation, our Utah Division of Aeronautics, which is with the airports, and our Division of Public Safety, and all are federated by Utah Communications Authority 911 that helps us handle our licensing throughout the state. So we've got a lot of 4.9 investment currently with everything that we're doing. We have some current use cases. If you take a look, one of our big items that Utah has is we have a lot of fiber optics throughout the ground, almost 3,400 miles, but you don't end up with a lot of redundancy or to be able to be mobile with those fiber optics. When you're trying to bring something off of fiber optics, a way to get back to the backbone. So if you're mobilizing out, for an example, if you take a look at the IMT vehicle that's down on the one corner side, we have been playing around with, hey, can we get real-time video off of a private network using 4.9 and see real-time situational awareness back at our traffic operations center? The answer is yes, we can. We've done several proof of concepts, and we're like, okay, maybe this is something that we can look into for our future sections and take a corridor like our interstate and allow these public safety devices to communicate in real time back with our operations center. Currently, 4.9 is used for push to talk. There's some point-to-point microwave backbone connections used throughout the state. Some CCTV cameras we've been bringing back, and we're looking at some emergency site communications when we have like forest fires or anything to set up. We currently use 4.9 on those. Future, we're looking at pushing a real-time video section, work zone communications. When we're coming up within our work zones within the interstates, there's a really everyone in transportation knows that's a really dangerous area. To be able to have work zone communications, we are a big rural state without communications in some sections of the states, and then you can't communicate with your work zone for miles and miles. You can if we're standing up any of our mobile units that have that we can bring in on the trailers with the solar units, keep them powered, and it can stand up a communication systems for our work zone safety. Our IMT and our real-time situational awareness of the roads. We have a lot of snow that comes down. We have a lot of impacts that happen within our canyons, and being able to see in real time and help direct skiers. We've got a lot of skiers in the state of Utah. To say, don't go up the canyon. You're just going to be sitting here for hours, or please, it may be days. Don't go up the canyon. We want to be able to have that type of awareness. And our public likes to also have that awareness from what we post to be able to see what is actually happening and how it is affecting them. So for our public safety, it's huge. And we really don't want to lose that. And we really don't want to have to go out and create thousands of applications right now to try to keep what we've got. Our current future use on the transportations, we kind of have been through that. These are just some more uses that we have. Education is something that we haven't talked about. We've talked about 4.9. We integrate with our education network, what we call Utah Education Telehealth Networks, and we will help trunk each other's traffic. We have been talking about within the state of Utah, we've had House Bill 61 that has come through, and I put a link to it down there, and it talks about how we have to have the public safety within the schools. But if anyone has ever been on school networks, and for your police officers or your security officers in the schools, It's a major filtered network for those students and isn't exactly the best for public safety communications. And we want to be able to integrate to the 4.9 in for our schools and for any of the buses up and down through the corridors on our transportation systems to help better protect our students within the state. And we are currently working in tandem with Utah Education Telehealth Networks to try and make that happen. Why are private networks important? I've listed a whole section here where it's important. I think one of the top ones is security. 4.9 isn't one that is generally open to the public. It provides a lot better security when you have a private network. When you can control your own network options, directives, and goals without relying on third parties and high cost service level agreements. It's also third party network breaches, like I don't know what happened last week or the week before, uh, did not affect our private network. You're able to keep that out, even though we had some of the equipment that it could have affected, but because of the private network, our equipment was fine. We control and have the freedom to choose the quality of the network service we deliver. Um, you're not competing with the public enterprise on the network access. You're trying to get your access. I think that's a highly important point. Ability to preempt and prioritize devices for areas or groups, you can do that. And you've seen that happen with even our major carriers. That's a major bonus with them as well. Here is an example of one of the devices that we're putting up. I believe there was a question of what equipment, and this is the one that we're working with and testing. We also have this one. I kind of thought it looked Apple-esque when they brought it out, but it's nice. It's a development. So we've been working close with Nokia on that. And we've been also working on creating what we call a private core. So in order to do a private like LTE 5G, you need to have a core. And we've got a test core that we've stood up already that we're working with. So we are highly into this, and it would be sad to have to see us back away from the innovation and everything that we've been bringing to the 4.9. You make 4.9 difficult to access, it's going to be difficult to innovate and figure out what you can do. So coming off of a fiber network to a last mile, we call 4.9, to be able to hit devices and even create like the two pathways that Tim was talking about is huge for networks. Fiber's hit, you've got a quick way to quickly do what I call an air gap in between the two networks quickly to make the critical information stands up. You can also form your network to create a failover that's in real time, that even when it's hit, the redundancy keeps it going without being felt or having to do anything manual with it. And we want to be able to extend the amount of fiber network we've got out to the end and use it for redundancy sections. That's what I've got. Thank you, Ferdinand.